Hello, fellow lovers of the liminal and the weird, and welcome to another video by Liminal Spaces. Today I am joined by my good friend that I've known since 97?
98,
yeah.
Yeah,
This is Aaron Frale, and he's visiting his hometown, Albuquerque, and while he's here, I decided to bring him on the channel because Aaron is probably the most prolific writer that I know. He writes fantasy and science fiction, and we're going to talk about that a lot later. But we also grew up together. We've done writing together. We were in a band together for years. In fact, the opening music that you heard at the beginning of this video was Aaron and I. Aaron was on the guitar. We did music together for years. But I wanted to bring him on the channel specifically to first talk about a little bit about his writing. But before that, I wanted to go over your list of your favorite sci-fi, fantasy, horror novels. So that's what we'll start. We'll do that, and then we'll talk a little bit more about your writing and stuff that we did that was wild as kids.
Great, sounds good. I'm excited. So we'll get the list started.
All right, sounds good. Let's start that. What's first on your list?
Well, in no particular order, Hitchhiker's Guide. That's one of the books that I first fell in love with comedy and science fiction as sort of a blended form. I really enjoyed the fact that it was equal parts silly but also sci-fi in the series. You know?
Yeah. Did you read them first, or did you see the or hear the radio play, or did you watch the movie first?
I read them first. Okay. So I read the first book in the series, and I loved it so much that I found the radio play.
Right.
And then downloaded that and listened to that.
Yeah, the radio play has one funny moment that I think you probably know I've made fun of for many years, and that's where they're running to a time machine, and they all jump in except for the Marvin, is that his name?
Yeah.
Marvin. The robot, and he doesn't make it, and they slam the door of the time machine, and they go like 1,000,000 years in the future, and then they open the door, and Marvin's standing there, and he goes, "Where have you been?"
Yes.
He stood there for 1,000,000 years.
Yes. Just waiting for them. Yeah. That's what I loved about it, like the fact that the Earth was obliterated to make a hyperspace bypass.
Yeah,
that's just such a brilliant thing that
Yeah, it was very tongue in cheek. It was really. I mean, I remember the alien that always wants to read his poetry, and I think that he was hitting on a part of the zeitgeist that everybody kind of wanted at that moment, that humor, that I mean, I think that is like the pinnacle of comedy sci-fi, I guess.
I would say it's a grandfather of comedy sci-fi.
Oh, okay.
In the sense, I mean, I'm sure there are comedy and sci-fi to be done before that, but I would say that when you see comedy and sci-fi now, it's almost always they think of Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah, that's what I think of.
Right. I don't think you can do it without acknowledging the presence of Hitchhiker's Guide
Absolutely.
as a book series.
So if that's the grandfather, who would be the father? Like, is there modern sci-fi comedy?
Yeah, so there is I'm forgetting the name of the writer exactly at the moment. But there is, it's not on my list, but it is a very good book, Year Zero.
Oh. Let me look it up.
Yeah, find the writer, but his book came out around the time of Napster and downloading songs.
Oh, okay.
And so what he did with his book is that basically
Robert Reed?
Yeah. Is that the name of
Year Zero is a science fiction novel by Robert Reed, published in 2012.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Robert Reed, his book, basically the premise was humans were only good at one thing.
Okay.
And that was making music.
Okay.
They were bad at everything else. Like their architecture sucked, their science sucked, they were children in terms of mathematics.
Okay.
And, you know what I mean? But music, the rest of the universe just went crazy for music and loved it so much. And so they illegally downloaded all of Earth's music and spread it throughout the universe.
Okay.
And because they had this law in place that they follow the laws of the culture,
right?
They realized that because they had pirated Earth's music and spread it throughout the universe, that they owed Earth the collective wealth of the universe in fines for illegally pirating music.
Wow, okay. And that's interesting.
And so the premise of the book is there's a couple aliens that figure, well, rather than pay fines, let's just destroy the Earth. And
Smart.
so that's the whole premise of the book. But it's Hitchhiker's Guide, but obviously with the more,
Yeah, so it's still continued to exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's a genre that I don't read a lot of. Of course, I read Hitchhiker's Guide, but other than that, I haven't really explored. I mean, even going back to the classics, you got like Norman Spinrad, and they called it satire. I think that they would do this kind of comedic, but it was usually with teeth, where they were kind of politically biting. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm just a sucker for mixing comedy with some other genre. So,
and your writing shows that as well.
It is. Yeah. No, my writing has like a comic twist to it. And it's interesting because when I've gotten reviews from some people, they mention that, like, in one of my series, the main villain is printers that turn into creatures and kill people, and one reviewer said that you wouldn't think that a printer would work
like a printer,
like a computer printer. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a coworker that was like always thought the printer was trying to kill her, and they said, "What if the printer actually was trying to kill her?" And so that was this book series. But one reader said, "You don't think that printers, killer printers, to the level of Apocalypse would work, but it does."
Yes,
and
that's
so
great.
It's sort of,
Did you ever read the National Lampoon stuff when you were younger?
I read Mad when I was younger.
Oh, Mad, okay.
Yeah, Mad was my thing.
Yeah, I loved Mad too. Mad was a lot of fun. All right, what's next?
All right, so Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time I actually got into kind of late. When I was in high school, I remember everyone was reading Eye of the World.
Yeah.
Everyone was reading it and loving it. And I had bought it and meant to read it, but it sat on my shelf, like, unread for years.
Right.
And then Amazon came out with the series Wheel of Time, and my wife and I watched the series. We ended up really liking it. And I'm like, why did I never read these books? And, we have an Audible subscription,
right.
And so we just downloaded the first one. She listened to it because we share the same one. So she listened to it first, and then when she was done, I started listening to it.
Oh, okay.
And we got so hooked on them, we listened to the entire 16-book series within the space of a year and nothing else.
How many hours is that?
I mean, they're like 36
a
to
piece?
40 hours a piece,
oh
and it's 16 books. So
wow.
It literally took us a year of like washing dishes, driving to work.
It's different than the TV series, isn't it?
It is. The TV series is condensed. So what they did was they took some plot points that happened later in the series and put it in different seasons of the TV series. So
I liked the TV series, but I only saw the first season.
Yeah.
I haven't seen beyond the first season, but I really enjoyed the first season when it came out, and I had never read these.
We enjoyed it enough that we thought we'd read them. And then what really struck me as we were listening to them, which, by the way, the narrator for the audiobook version was so good.
Yeah.
I'd hear that in my voice I'd hear that in my head while I was like,
you were
making eggs or something. Like, he crocks an egg.
Oh, he was narrating your life.
He was narrating my life. Yes. Yeah, like I'd crack an egg and I'd hear his voice, and then, if I cut myself, I got blood and bloody act, which is a swear they use in the,
That's fun.
But what I like about it is, like, Robert Jordan was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
As far as, like, fantasy tropes and stuff like that. Like, for example, in most fantasy novels, you have the wizened old wizard,
right?
And the wizened old wizard in this series is a female,
right?
And
she's the one right at the beginning, right?
Yeah. And in fact, all the most powerful wizards in the world are females.
Yeah,
which is such an interesting,
it's a flip,
different, flip. It was ahead of its time as far as just the portrayal of gender within within fantasy, like what's the role of men and women and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they had like usually it's the male character that has the destiny to fulfill, and it does happen, of course, in this. But there's also female characters that have destinies to fulfill.
So a lot
of
of that
just as like powerful as the male one. So it's interesting that it has.
I was wondering if the TV series had changed that, had added that, but it sounds like it was there in the original books.
Yeah, it was already there in the original books. Which when you look at their publication date, it was
Yeah. 1990 this came out.
Yeah. And that's like right on the coattails of Conan, where the trope was kind of hyper masculinity as fantasy. Like the hero that you are rooting for should be the Arnold Schwarzenegger type.
Right.
And this.
Have you read Conan stuff?
I haven't, but he has. Robert Jordan did write Conan stuff.
I got it. I actually have one. Hold on.
Yeah, he.
Yes, he does. I had to jump up and grab this to show that Robert Jordan does do Conan stuff. No, the reason I bring it up is because I was never interested in Conan. I always thought Conan was just going to be this muscle bound. Kind of
macho fantasy,
like
sort of
might makes right,
yes,
type of stuff.
Yes.
Wow, was I wrong? Like I watched so many booktubers that talked about Robert E. Howard and how insane his prose was, and I read the story of the Tower of the Elephant.
Yeah.
And it is one of the best cosmic horror, like weird tales stories I've ever read. So, yeah, this is fun too. Is all I would add to that.
Huh.
That I mean, and Conan is what a barbarian is, like straight up. Like that's Conan is what a barbarian is, and it's all there. But it's weird to read, somebody making those tropes, and
the creation of those.
Yeah, and also Conan in just the Tower of the Elephant, the only one I've read, is would have failed if there weren't other people that had planned more, weren't so brash to help him along. And that the person that did help him along and did plan more dies. And Conan just muscles through, but he'd be dead if it wasn't for that guy at the beginning. His brashness has consequences. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah.
He's not a Mary Sue or a Gary Sue or whatever they call him. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I don't mean to go on a tangent about Conan, but I was really shocked by how much my bias fell apart when I read that Conan. It was wild.
I'm not surprised because I mean it is Robert Jordan, right?
This is Robert Jordan, and I didn't. This is not what I read.
That's not the one. Okay.
No, the one I read was Robert E. Howard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the original guy. Yeah, I haven't read any Robert Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting and also not surprising in the sense that like if you look at the Conan movies versus the books, the movies like played into the He-Man aspect of it more.
Right.
And the sort of wizard planny characters were sort of the comic relief almost.
Yeah. I love those movies.
They were fun. They were fun movies. I enjoyed them too.
Yeah, but you're right. This is a huge turnaround. Now, my bias, speaking of bias, is that this is kind of a Lord of the Rings ripoff. Is that true, or is this part of the? I know that there's like fantasy took steps, and one of those steps was everybody wrote Lord of the Rings. Right? Fantasy was really short, and then once Lord of the Rings hit, people started making these epic kind of journeys. Is this similar to Lord of the Rings, or?
I wouldn't say it's that similar to Lord of the Rings. I would say it's not. There are some sort of similarities where there's like a Sauron type of evil that is.
But this is all like reincarnation in this one, right?
Yeah. This is the Wheel of Time is like this has all happened before, and everyone is the same soul that had been through this before, and it's just a continuous cycle. But what makes this one different is the talk of how we're going to break the cycle for good and go through it, but he doesn't even leave it. I mean, he didn't even finish the books. He died
10 book 10
it was book
something,
10 or something
and
Brandon Sanderson did the last ones, and but it was in conjunction with Robert Jordan's spouse, who was also his editor. So that could also explain why feminine roles had a much more realistic feel to them. They weren't sort of just the damsel character, like because of his wife being the editor. But yeah, it does have. I would say there's some Lord of the Rings similarity, but it is very different because it has it has a lot of like you could definitely tell he's taking from whatever culture he likes and making his fantasy world. So you get Eastern themes in it and Western themes and stuff from the Middle East, and stuff like that. And like there's even words he invents for the series that have like, oh, that sounds like Arabic or something that they're talking,
Well, it sounds like a fun series.
Yeah. It was...
I just don't have the investment capital.
Yes,
those books are so, and
they are,
and people are always like, "You'll love it when you get to the fourth book," and I'm like, "That is so many pages.
That's a lot of books." I loved it after the first one, and honestly, like there was the middle books that were the drag ones.
Oh, were they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was like. The last book Robert Jordan wrote was really good, and like up to those few middle books before that were really good, and then there was these like 3 or 4 books all in a row. Like The Path of Daggers was one of them, I forget, but they all sort of just blended in as like that should have been just one book. Those 3, wow. You know what I mean? Like it felt like the plot wasn't enough to sustain.
We talk too much. This is going to be a long one. Let's keep going.
All right. Let's do it.
What's next?
Let's talk more. Ender's Game.
Ender's Game. So I don't have Ender's Game, but I do have the omnibus that has Ender's Game and Speaker for the Dead in it. I've never read this.
You've never read it?
I've never read it.
Oh my god, this is
Jason read it. He loves it.
Yeah.
It's what got him. Jason's my brother. It's what got him into science fiction.
Wow.
I've never read this one. I missed it somehow.
Wow. It feels like everyone read this.
I know.
Of a certain age and my age.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this was my first time I read a sci-fi book.
Oh wow.
Really? So that's why I have to put it on the list, because it was the first sci-fi book that I just was like, holy crap, that's so cool.
Well, and the as I understand it, the twist is absolutely incredible. The way that he presents that twist is really insanely good.
Yeah. No, it's a really good, well tight story that just works. And one thing that I liked about the twist with, I guess, do you spoil on your channel?
It's so weird because, like you said, yes, but I always warn. Like you said, everybody's read this story or seen the movie. Okay. You know what I mean? Like right. So, spoiler alert! If you haven't read this, if you have a list of shame like I do and haven't read this, spoiler alert. Go ahead.
Okay, so one thing I really like about the twist is it makes the enemy not so black and white.
Right.
Like when you're first reading the book, it's just these evil creatures that just want to kill all the humans.
Right.
And then suddenly you realize that no, they're another creature out there that has their own lives and feelings and
moms and babies.
Yeah. And I don't know, when you think about any human conflict on Earth, that's really what it is. Yeah. I mean, the people on the other side of the line are humans with their moms and babies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
And so I appreciated that sort of twist, but it was also the main character was around the same age that I was when I'm reading it, so I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I want to go to a space academy.
Jason compared it to Harry Potter in that way.
Yeah.
That for our generation, this is the school we wanted to go to. All the other kids, after us wanted to go to Hogwarts. Right. This is the school.
They wanted to go to the orbital. Yeah, there was that like games they did where they had to like they had this big arena where they were like bouncing between obstacles and had to do like capture the flag kind of stuff, and you're just like, I want to do that.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
It.
Oh God. Yeah, here's a first edition copy of It from my Stephen King.
I'm jealous.
Library.
That's pretty amazing,
isn't it? Yeah.
No, I like it.
Yeah, I this is one I love as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is in my top Stephen King 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you love about this one?
So I think it's also the age that I read it.
Yeah.
About the same age as the kids in the story.
Yeah.
You know, and the main character was also the writer character,
Yeah.
and I had always like fancied myself a writer when I
Sure.
was a kid. Like
Yeah.
I wrote this story about skeletons chasing a guy, and he got rid of him by driving up to the edge of the cliff and slamming his brakes, and all the skeletons went and at sleepovers, other kids wanted me to tell that story to them,
Right.
and so that was sort of like the first jolt of like creating something and then having someone else enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so the main character in it, he's a writer.
Yeah.
And he's telling stories to all his friends.
Yeah, Bill, is that his name?
Bill, I think.
Yeah,
And
Bill.
So I connected with him in it. You know,
Nobody writes character like Stephen King.
yeah.
Like, seriously. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like the characters in this. And I don't know, because Dan Simmons wrote Summer of Night.
Yeah.
But I think that happened after this. I feel like Stephen King kind of invented the 80s kids on bikes solving supernatural shit trope.
I
like,
think he
straight
did.
up.
I think he did. No. Or if he didn't invent it, he's the one that did it like so good
Yeah.
that you can't beat it.
Yeah,
You know?
seriously.
Yeah, the kids getting together and investigate something supernatural.
Yeah.
You know, like I love the Goonies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
how can you know, it's the same sort of. There is a cast of kids, although it's kind of funny. I watched Goonies with my wife and her sister, and they were like, "That's so, boy, it's really." It's hard. It's so frantic, and they're so all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to watch, and it's like
loved
it's
it.
so funny, and I I realized as a boy I was the one that like loved that frantic and all over the place, and that's what this is, because it's a little messy what the kids are doing. It's not exactly. It's not a sterilized world for them. Like the bully in it is actually murderous and
scary.
And scary,
Yeah.
right. And so that's where I think Stephen King did such a great job in making it, you know, so realistic that you not only could imagine yourself in there, but you could also feel the fear in that moment, you know?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And I know this is probably the book where the clowns are scary comes from.
Which is also a trope I feel like he might have, and I know there's got to be stuff before that, but this is where I think most people were introduced to scary clowns.
Right, yeah. I don't think anyone... Maybe there's some uncanny valley, some creepiness of clowns before that, but I think this was like where the killer clown sort of like...
Yeah, Pennywise was the first for me.
Yeah.
Straight up. All right.
So next one is Nothing to Envy by Barbara Demick. It's a nonfiction work. So this is a nonfiction book I read maybe about 10, 15 years ago at this point.
Came out in 2009.
2009, so that's about right, about 15 years ago. And it stuck with me so much that anytime I'm in a conversation with somebody about nonfiction books in general, I always recommend this book.
This is the one that comes up.
This is the one that I have told so many people about, and it's not actually a complicated premise. It's just interviews with different people who escaped from North Korea and what their life was like in North Korea. So it talks about anyone from people that were part of the kind of high society elite part of North Korea, and then other people that were sort of on the lower social strata of North Korea and what it was like. And the time frame of most of these people would put me, if I were born in North Korea, about a teenager when most of the events of the book were happening.
Yeah.
So I would have been a teenager at that time, and it describes like this one school teacher who when she was walking to school, she would have to walk over the bodies of children who died from hunger, because it was like one of the worst famine ever. It talked about how in the capital city there was this part of the city that was pristine and perfect, and there was all these actors that were paid to look like they were having like a really good time, like a mother strolling her baby
Wow.
along and all that. And what they would do is when a journalist would come to North Korea, they take him on the tour of all that, and all the actors would go at the right time to show
Wow.
this perfect, idyllic city.
Wow. Wild.
Yeah, it just, it's wild. There's a couple in that book who they were in love with each other, but they were from different social stratas. And so in North Korea, they don't have enough power to last more than like just the capital city. And,
wow.
And so they
okay.
just shut down the power after.
The grid isn't good.
Yeah,
huh?
the grid just shuts down. And so when you look at a satellite photo, which it has in the book of North Korea at night, there's like a dot.
And then everything's just dark.
And everything's dark.
Wow.
And then South Korea's in that same photo, and it's a light.
Right,
It's just a bunch of lights. And so this couple, they fell in love with each other. They were from different social strata, so they couldn't date. It wasn't allowed. And so because it was... So the punishment system in North Korea is if somebody commits like a crime, and an example of a crime is like everyone has a picture of the leader on the
Right.
wall.
Yeah.
And these police will come by with like white gloves, and then they'll check to see if
my
there's
God.
dust on it.
Wow.
Yeah, and if there's dust on it, they take you away. But they don't just take you away; they take away 3 generations of your family.
Holy moly.
So one person in the family commits one of these type of crimes, and everyone goes to the work camps.
Wow.
Yeah, like the grandfather, the children, the mother, everyone. And so the dating outside your social status was one of those crimes that could
Right.
get you taken away. And so this couple, in order to date, they went out at night when all the lights were off, and they take these long walks with each other until they get to this really remote area. And in the 3 years they were dating, they one time felt bold enough to hold hands.
Oh, wow.
And that was after they were way out of the city and sitting on a bench, and they just sort of like touched hands. And that was the most physical interaction they did, even
Wow.
though they called themselves boyfriend and girlfriend. And I was just like, yeah, the stories in that book just floored me. It was
Yeah.
just disturbing and dark, and just made you understand what it's like to live there.
Wow.
And so, yeah,
Wow.
very, very powerful stuff, and not something you want to read if you're looking for a Hitchhiker's Guide or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
it makes
Like-
sense. Yeah. All right, what's next?
All right, so we'll go to something more lighthearted. Let's do Bobaverse.
Okay,
next.
yeah. I don't have any
Bobaverse.
Bobaverse.
Bobaverse, I think, started as a self-published series, I
Oh.
believe, but now I think it's picked up by a publisher, if I remember correctly.
For some odd reason, I see a guy with a pipe in his mouth.
No, it's a like...
What is that I'm thinking of? Everybody worships Bob or something, or that must have been a thing in the 90s.
Something, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, my viewers will tell me what I'm thinking of.
Well, good, yeah, please. What is the one with the pipe in the mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's like a 50s guy with a pipe in his mouth, and his name Bob, and it's some kind of religion. I don't even know.
Bobaverse by Tennessee Taylor
Okay.
is a book series that I really got into. Self-published book series.
That's wild. That's cool.
At least I believe it was, and then it got picked up after that. And the premise is actually about a guy, kind of a tech millionaire, like a Zuckerberg type of
Right.
person, who signed up for this service that they scanned his brain and promised to like wake him up after his death,
Oh, okay.
and he then gets hit by a bus after the brain scan goes through.
Okay.
So it comes sooner than later, and he wakes up in a training simulation, and he finds out that he now lives in post-America, which is a religiarchy or something like that. It's controlled by religious organizations, and they want to spread the religion throughout the universe, so they make these unmanned probes that are going to be the software program that's going to run them is his brain scan.
Oh, he's going to be the software.
He's going to be the software
Okay.
that runs the probe. So Bob, the main character, becomes the software for these probes. And it is based on a sci-fi idea of, I mean, it was a scientist that came up with the idea,
Right.
but, if you have a probe that replicates itself,
Yeah.
it only takes a certain amount of years before the entire universe
Like nanomachines,
like
gray
nanomachines,
matter.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Until the entire like universe is filled with these probes, and,
Right.
And so Bob had the ability to replicate himself,
Uh-oh.
and so he flies out, exploring new planets. But then he realizes he needs more Bobs to help him out with all his things.
Okay.
He also kind of escapes his captors. He becomes like a free agent and sort of ignores the people that forced him to be the software for a probe. And so he makes more probes, and they start calling each other like famous sci-fi names. Like there's one called Riker.
Oh, okay.
Or
Riker, nice.
Riker, or some of the other ones. But yeah, so yeah, there's different Bobs named after.
So this is a comedy?
It is, yeah. It's a comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I would say leans more serious than comedy, but there is a lot of comedy to it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of just a space exploration one, but
Okay.
it has different Bobs in the world, and eventually by the end of the series there's millions of Bobs.
Right.
Because he's other Bobs started making other Bobs, and
Damn it, Bob.
Yes, exactly. And then there's like an alien race that wants to destroy all humans, and
got a lot of Bobs to kill.
So the Bob's got to save them, and and eventually there's human characters that like Bob's ancestors come involved in it, where he meets his like great granddaughter or something like that,
okay.
and becomes friends with her, and so yeah, it's a there's definitely a good comic element to it, but it's serious too, and it's
Nice.
sort of space opera, sort of strange planets, strange aliens,
Yeah.
different situations, but the explorers are not a crew that's a probe named Bob that has replicated himself
Right.
lots of times.
Awesome. All right. What else?
All right, so in the Paycheck Collection by Philip K. Dick, there's a story called The Defenders.
Which we've done on the channel. Jason talked about it.
Yeah, and that one has always stuck with me as I just enjoyed the premise of the story, because it is your classic AI oppressing humans narrative, where these machines have all the humans living underground, and they're feeding people, news of this war that's always going on. And spoiler alert here, at the end of the story, he finds out that when he gets to the surface of the Earth, that there's no war going on. The machines are just doing that to keep them hidden underground. And the reason the machines are doing it is not because they hate humans and want to kill them, it's because they actually care about the humans so much that they don't want the humans to destroy the Earth again.
Yeah.
And so they're just worried about the humans and being kind of motherly to them. Which I kind of liked that twist, because I feel AI, especially nowadays, gets put in the role of a villain. And really, I don't know how much I buy AI as a villain, because I feel like AI is going to be like an intelligent, right? And so it's going to have wants and desires, and they might not be the same wants and desires as us. So villainous things might happen, but I don't necessarily think that
you can't call the AI itself evil because it's doing what it was programmed to do. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. How it was created, or how it's interpreting its programming could lead to evil.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, the
it's not like a given. It's not like AI automatically will become super intelligent and destroy everyone one day. It might decide that everyone is much better off living in a 70s disco scenario, and suddenly all of humanity are in the Matrix, but it's a 70s disco party the entire time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
We don't know.
And we should say we're discussing, of course, science fiction AI here, not current day AI. Right?
Yeah, not current AI.
Yeah.
No.
The concept of AI in science fiction.
Yeah, the concept of AI in science fiction.
Yeah.
Right. I just feel that AI in science fiction is often just it's often assigned the role of kill all humans. And here I thought was such a great story, because it was assigned the role of make all humans really safe.
Right.
And by doing that, it's actually oppressing them in the sense that they can't leave the caves and never go outside and stuff like that. So
yeah, this story was rewritten or expanded to The Penultimate Truth by Philip K. Dick. So he eventually made this idea into a novel.
Which I'm going to have to read because I haven't read it. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he expanded it. All right, you got to have Dick on your list.
Yep, you do got to Dick on your list.
it's important.
It wouldn't be a sci-fi without Dick on your list.
That's right.
So next one is the Expanse series by James Corey.
Yeah. I watched the first season, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, it is great epic sci-fi that's been done, in the post 2010 era, I think. What I like about the Expanse, the book series, is there's a lot of cool, weird alien artifact mystery that's done really, really well.
Okay.
And so they have this whole alien artifact that comes to Earth, and then it starts doing weird stuff, then it eventually expands into portals that go off to different worlds, but then there's more alien artifacts on this world of this civilization that just is gone all of a sudden, and I really enjoy how they made it. I mean, it has a lot of political intrigue and humans fighting human stuff in it.
Right.
I'm not as big of a fan of that.
I'm not either.
It's not that part of the Expanse series I could kind of leave, and and when you get to the end of the series, it's trying to meld the human plot line and the science the weird alien plot line. So I'm not as big fan of the ending, but man, the mystery of going through that alien artifact stuff was just so well done. It really, like, every time they revealed a little bit more about the alien artifact, you just wanted to get to the next book to get to more alien artifact.
Oh, interesting.
Like, it was just, like
a mystery, good writing of mystery.
Yeah, it was a good writing of a mystery and a good exploration tale that, it was also very long, and I did it on audiobook too, so it was another one of those series that I just invested in for the whole series from beginning to end. I think 9 books.
I'm going to ask a question, and I'll edit it out if I'm wrong, because I've got 2 stories confused, I believe.
Yeah.
The Expanse, and then there was one that Bo loved where you upload consciousness into new bodies. Is The Expanse the one where the Mormons are building a spaceship and trying to go to space?
Yes.
Okay, so I am thinking of the right one.
Yeah, The Expanse is where the Mormons are building a spaceship.
Yes,
and
I love the plot. I love the plot, man. Being I grew up Mormon, and that and that had me giggling. It really did. I think that was a very realistic portrayal of what Mormons would be doing in the future.
Was.
Yeah,
and the guys are both the guys that wrote The Expanse. James Corey is actually a pseudonym for them. They're from Albuquerque.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, they're from Albuquerque. Like one of them was George R.R. Martin's personal assistant or aide or something like that.
Oh wow!
In fact, there's and I learned this from his Twitter, I believe, because I was following him on Twitter for a while, and apparently there was a rumor that he beat up a guy at a Comic-Con who was trying to assault George R.R. Martin.
Weird.
But he said what happened was the fan had tried to get a clipping of George R.R. Martin's beard. And so he really wanted a clipping of his beard to take home.
Weird.
And the James A. Corey,
Yeah, so the 2 men are Daniel Abraham and Ty Frank.
Yeah, and I think it was Ty Frank that was George R. R. Martin's assistant.
Okay.
And I believe that Ty basically didn't beat the guy up, but said, no, you can't get a clipping of his beard. Take the scissors away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of creepy for someone to come up with these scissors and say, I want some of your beard,
Yeah, Ty Frank was the personal assistant for George R. R. Martin.
Yeah.
Who lives in Santa Fe, of course. Yeah, how interesting. Okay, I didn't realize that was 2 guys.
Yeah, no, it was 2 guys, and the Expanse was originally they were inventing their own role-playing game series.
Oh, wow.
And that was, they decided to turn it into a book series, and of course they had George R. R. Martin as a contact, so I imagine you can get to the publishing industry that way once you have a solid book, you know.
Yeah, he still lives in Albuquerque.
He does?
Daniel Abraham does.
Oh, Daniel Abraham. I thought the other one, Ty, lives in,
Let's see where Ty
Portland.
lives now.
I think he lives in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, it's not going to say. But anyway, that's interesting. I did another New Mexico sci-fi authors we can
New
claim.
Mexico, yes, exactly. We can claim the Expanse series in New
Yeah,
Mexico.
yeah.
It's kind of cool because there is some of it where there is one book where there's a character who's from New Mexico, and
Okay.
he talks about the smell of roasting green chili.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I'm like, oh, that's New
If you
Mexican right
smelled
there.
it, you know.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. There's nothing quite like that
Yeah.
roasting green chili smell. Every fall they do it here.
Yeah, in front of the Walmarts.
And yes, and the grocery stores.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, if you don't like it, you can't get away from it. But if you love it, you're
really, roasted green chili smells really good.
It does smell really good. Yeah, I miss that.
All right. Yeah. Okay, what's next?
So Wool.
Oh, yeah, Wool. Hugh Howey.
So
I have a story about this, too. Go ahead.
yeah, no, you tell your story first because I think it's how I got into Wool.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I think you should go first.
Yeah, so Hugh Howey self-published one short story called Wool. And at that point, I was still married, and my wife at the time got me a Kindle. And I didn't know how to use the thing, and then one of my friends on Facebook put out a thing that said you can get a free science fiction story from this link. It was Amazon, right? Go to this link and you get a free thing on your Kindle. So I went and I grabbed this free science fiction story, and I hadn't read science fiction in so long, and it was the short story Wool. And it had a great twist, and the title being Wool was an awesome title, and I loved it. And I think I told you about it.
And that's what got me onto it.
Yeah.
Chris told me about Wool, and I went and I downloaded it.
Yeah.
And I really loved the story, and then I saw that it got made into a full book.
Right.
And then a series even, so 3 books. And I read it back when, I mean, this was back in the early days of self-publishing, and
really early.
Hugh Howey had his email, his Gmail email address in the back of the book, where you could just send him an email and say you love the book or something.
So did he self-publish the first novel?
He did. He self-published all first 3 novels.
Oh, really?
And he actually had a whole YA sci-fi series before that he had published.
Oh, wow. That
he had self-published. So he had been self-publishing for a while.
Didn't he sell the rights to James Cameron for $1 million or something?
It's a series. It's out now. It's Silo.
Oh, that's Silo.
On
Apple TV.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it's literally like a TV show,
which
now.
I haven't watched yet. I was obsessed with Severance, and I haven't watched Silo yet.
I'm still watching Severance, so I'm almost done with it. I love it so far.
So good.
Yeah, no, I'm second season, second episode, but yeah, I really
You're almost to a point that is one of my favorites of the entire show.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Silo, I got Apple TV because of Silo.
Right, I got it because of Severance.
Right, that's hilarious. That's funny. But yeah, they did a good job on Apple TV. They added some stuff that wasn't ever in the original Wool books, but I thought it was actually really good additions. And just following Hugh Howey online, it sounds like he had a lot to do with the writing process.
Yeah, okay.
So I think everything that they added was stamp of approval, in that sense. And it made it almost better than the original Wool books, the TV series, which is rare that the televised version becomes better than the book.
Right.
And I think it was because of that sort of collective power of art, of, a bunch of smart people getting together and making something better. But yeah, Wool I really enjoyed, and he's also I'm a self-published author, he's a self-published author, but a highly successful one, and so
it can happen.
It can happen. It was sort of like, wow, that's the dream. It happens to people. So,
yeah, seriously. Yeah, I remember that was my first connection with self-published anything, was going and getting that for free and reading it on the Kindle. Which I don't have a Kindle anymore, but
funny.
Yeah, well, I'm obsessed with owning what I've read.
Yeah. I mean, case in point.
All right, good. What's next?
Who Built the Humans? I'm going to disclaim this one.
Okay.
That this is a friend of mine, so I'm...
You're biased?
Yeah, I'm biased in the sense that this is another author that I know, but the guy has such a amazing wit. When you talk to him, he can say something incredibly deep and incredibly funny.
Nice.
And it makes you really think about what he just said,
Nice.
but it's also hilarious at the same time. And this is one of the books that he wrote. And, you know...
What's his name?
Philip Carter.
Philip Carter.
Philip Carter. And
I'll be putting the covers up here between us. So.
Yeah. It's a really so it's a book that is a bunch of short stories, but they're all interconnected in different universes. And so his idea behind it was you could read it in any direction you want. Oh. So you could pick a random point in the book and it will tell you where to go next. So it's not necessarily a choose your own adventure, although there is some points in the book where you can decide what you would like to see the character do next.
Okay.
But it's not in a choose your own adventure in that sort of strict sense. It's a bunch of different universes told in different styles. So, for example, one of the ones that I like the best in that book is one that's kind of told in poetry form.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and so it's like a sci-fi...
Like an epic poem?
Yeah, it's like an epic poem, but
interesting.
It's about, like, this woman who's just sort of going about her daily life and dealing with, like, a-holes at the bar, you know?
Right, yeah.
You know,
interesting.
but it's really... It just grabs you right away, and so yeah, it has some really interesting stuff in there, and you know, it has a lot of different like ways to sort of engage with the book, which I thought was kind of, you know, innovative and fun and
nice.
And you know, he has more planned, but he hasn't, you know, gotten to the point of releasing it because he's definitely someone that goes for making it the best that
quality
it can possibly best that it could possibly be before it's like here, general public, enjoy that. So he does a lot of narrative, you know, tricks and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a great book.
Sounds like something I'd like too.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, what's next?
All right, so A Door into Summer.
Heinlein, yeah, and I don't have that specific Heinlein. I have a few Heinleins, but not that one.
Yeah, and you know, I enjoy Heinlein well enough. Not the top of my list as far as authors go, but A Door into Summer I really enjoyed because it was the way that there was a lot of subtle, small things that were actually true about the future.
yeah, he's a good writer.
Yeah, he's a good writer.
So it's prescient. It looked into the you think it prophetic. It's
prophetic. Yeah, from the date it was written to the date when I read it. You know, like it's a time travel book, and he's time traveling to the future, and the future that he describes in A Door into Summer is pretty close to the future that I'm living in.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, there's some things that are like, oh, that's just 1950s being 1950s.
Right.
That he doesn't get right, you know?
Yeah.
But there are things like and they're just really small, like how tight the clothing is fitting on people.
Right.
Which is, you know, at the time that I read it was, you know, skinny jeans and you know, floppy haircuts and I felt that Heinlein in A Door into Summer had a lot of tiny moments like that where like, was the guy a time traveler himself? Because he really is getting this pretty right. I mean, there's once again, it's not perfect. Like very few of them can be perfect, but that one, a lot of the small moments is what get you. Like the plot, I kind of forgot about. The character, I kind of forgot about, but all these tiny little moments that made me go, oh my god, that's really amazing that he wrote this in a book that long ago. You know?
Seriously.
And it's nothing big. It's not like he's predicting, you know, the jet engine or rockets or, you know, nuclear weapons or cell phones or something like that. He's not predicting like the big things. It's like the really small cultural things that he's predicting. That sort of, you know.
And it's really interesting to me to look at, specifically in science fiction, how well people were able to view what the ideology of the future was going to be, right? How difficult that was. Like an example I can give is The Veldt by Ray Bradbury. I don't know if you're familiar with that one, but it's a story where he kind of invented the holodeck, but it's for children. It's a nursery, and they eventually, well, I don't want to spoil it, but anyway, he could imagine that that inflation would make houses so much crazy more expensive, but he couldn't imagine the fact that a housewife could go out and get a job in the future. like it's so funny,
Right.
their blind spots and their brilliant prophetic minds are so interesting.
That is exactly Adorn the Summer.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. like that is, yeah. No, it's so funny how people in the past, like, can't get their head around something that is so commonplace.
Yeah.
To us. It seems like, how could they not get that?
Right.
But
right.
then they peg something like inflation, you know, like
yeah, seriously. No, the best one I read, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, the one that I read that straight up doesn't feel dated to me at all was written in 1909.
Wow.
It's by E.M. Forster, who wrote Howard's End.
Yeah.
He wrote a science fiction story called The Machine Stops. And it is straight up people sitting underground, sitting in rooms on the internet in chairs, and they've gotten really huge and they no longer touch each other.
Oh my god.
It's Wall-E and the internet.
Oh my god.
And
I want to read that. That is amazing.
Super short
wow.
and absolutely incredible. It is the most prescient science fiction I have read.
Wow.
Like straight up 1909, this dude was like, this is what the future is going to be, and I'm like, and people were reading it during COVID and just going, oh my god, because we were all stuck in our houses on the internet and Zoom and shit, because they're all on the internet on Zoom in this novel. It's incredible.
Oh my
incredible.
God. Yeah.
All right, Heinlein, what's next?
All right, so I think we are going to go to the last one on my list here.
Okay, hold on. Let me get it.
Go ahead and get it. This is
God.
a classic in terms of classics.
What is it?
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the
How can
Rings.
you not, enjoy Lord of the Rings? I know plenty of people that actually don't enjoy Lord of the Rings, but
Everybody knows on the channel, and they always make fun of me, and I DNF'd Lord of the Rings.
you DNF not? Wow.
And I loved The Hobbit. Like,
Really?
I grew up with The Hobbit. I absolutely loved The Hobbit. But I decided to read these books when the movie came out, and I read the first one, just devoured it, loved it.
Okay.
Got halfway through the second one and just petered out.
So you DNF'd on the second one.
I DNF'd on the second one. It's funny because I DNF'd on the Ents, and I love the idea of the Ents.
Oh god, the Ents are some of the best
They
thing in
are.
It's
It's
so good.
incredible, and I love fairy tales, and I love myths. Everything says I should love this, and I'm just gonna have to reread it. I'm gonna have to reread it because I just the something stopped me, and I mean.
So when you read a book, do you read every word?
I do.
Like you go through
I do.
every single word in every single moment.
Yeah.
So these
I don't
books-
skim.
Yeah, these books, it's a challenge to read them when you're reading every word.
Huh.
Yeah, this is one of the books. So when I first read this series, this was before the movies came out, I read every word, and
Okay.
it was really hard to get through. Like
Yeah.
it was almost painful. Like the songs are the great example from these
Right.
books where they have all the like folk songs that
Yeah.
that he wrote, and
Yeah.
and you're just struggling to like, I want to get to the Ents, and you're just doing this folk song, and
Right.
you know what I mean, or I want to get to the battle, but there's this folk song,
Right.
and so it slows down the pacing
Yeah.
an incredible amount, and so it was a struggle for my very first time to get through the books, but then after that, once I had read them already once, I started rereading them, but skipping like the songs and some of the passages I knew to be not as interesting to me.
Okay.
And when I started reading it with more skimming, I actually started enjoying them more. But I'm really glad that I went the hard way around the first time,
Right.
because
Yeah.
I felt like I would have gotten the incredible depth of the world that
Right.
Tolkien had created without doing it the first time. But I really think this is the one book series that I highly recommend for anyone who has trouble reading it to actually skim.
Interesting.
Yeah, and slow down when you find something that you like. Because there's a lot of challenge in there.
There's George MacDonald and William Morris that were writing before him that really inspired him, amongst others. And William Morris tries to write like medieval. Yeah. Like he gets super archaic in his word use. And that was easier to read for me than this. I don't know. I haven't been able to articulate this. I don't know. And I'm going to have to reread them, and I'll probably make it a big thing where a bunch of people do it with me that love it, so that I can have camaraderie around me.
Right.
But yeah, for some odd reason, the Ents just slowed me down, and it's funny because it literally was on my bedside table, and then it moved to my desk, and these are different places that I read, and then it ended up on the back of my toilet. And I would just, and it was that big paperback that came out after the movies, you know what I mean? And I would just read it when I was on the toilet, and then slowly I stopped reading it. I don't know. It's sacrilegious. It is like people are going to be mad that I DNF'd this, but I did.
I mean, if I were recommending someone to read it, I would say skim it your first time through to get to the parts you like, and then if you really enjoyed it, then go back and go into the depths to read the other sort of things. Because I think the reason it's hard for people to finish, because I've heard this critique before, is it reads more like an academic paper than a fantasy novel.
Yeah.
So it's like you're reading some deep scholarly academic writing.
Yeah, which I don't mind archaic language, but you're right. This is, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That could be it.
Yeah, I think it's like if this were real events in a real culture, this would be some dense scholarly text that, you know, about that time.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I think of the novel Arrival. I don't know if you've read that by Ted Chiang.
No,
It's actually called, I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's called Arrival now because of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen the movie Arrival.
I've seen the movie, yeah, with the squid aliens writing.
Linguistics and all that,
yeah.
The concept that the writer has, the way he decided to write that story was like an academic paper. And that's an awesome, cool idea, and it was one of the most boring reads for me.
It's like Dracula. Dracula was a boring read for me. I
kind of agree with that. I read it when I was younger. I like Frankenstein a whole hell of a lot more. But you're right. Dracula was not my favorite. There's I have to read a lot of academic papers, and when I go to my fiction, I want to get away from that. So that's that's interesting. That could be because I was deep into my undergrad when I was trying to read these.
Ooh, yeah.
So it could have just been
academic stuff. Yeah, and that's just more academic stuff.
Yeah. So it really could have been the time because I have no complaints about what was happening in the novels.
Right.
There was nothing wrong with the story.
Right.
It's a little dark. It gets a little hopeless for me, but
yes.
But other than that, I was having a fine time. So I bet it was trying to read it during a hugely academic part of my life.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what we should have a discussion again after you've read the books. Yeah. We could just talk about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I feel that it's such a interesting book series.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't know. If somebody were to watch the movies and go, "Oh, this is going to be great,"
right?
I could see them going, "What the hell am I doing?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so different reading this,
and it's different from The Hobbit,
right?
Like The Hobbit is like genius, like
right.
Oh my god,
right. It's just good old fantasy romp.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
rob a dragon and meet some trolls that turn to stone.
yeah. I mean, I remember just as a kid going, "Oh my god, that is so cool."
Yeah.
Just really and Gollum and all of that.
Yeah.
And this, it was just like very, very sad all the time. I really was like nobody's having fun here. Maybe Merry and Pippin are having a good time.
Yeah.
But Frodo, of the Nine Fingers and the Ring of Doom is not having any fun.
No, Frodo is not having his Rumspringa journey of a lifetime.
No, he's not. He's not. Anyway, why do you love this book?
I love it because it is for me the archetypal fantasy, of what all fantasy sort of connects to. And then being a big D&D fan when I was young, it's very obvious D&D just said, we're going to make the game version of Lord of the Rings, so I feel that it's the storyline that does that, that has that, everything you want in a fantasy. The classic good versus evil, the journey, the chosen one, the stakes that no less than the entire world is
right. That's right.
The Ents, the
Ents are cool as shit.
I really wanted to be an Ent when I was a kid. I just thought that would be so cool,
dude.
To just sit there and be this tree that just gets to watch everything happen around them and live well past your puny little human lifespan and see what happens. That was kind of cool. It's funny because I'm a very slow person. I'm very slow and deliberate in what I do, and I don't think very fast. So, for example, if I'm in a trivia game, I almost always know the answer,
but it takes you a second to get there.
It takes me a while to get there, and so I can't hit that buzzer fast enough. So I do really bad when it's a buzzer type of situation, because my brain knows the answer, but my body doesn't work very fast. And so I always felt that connection with the Ents because of that idea of how slow and glacial everything was with them. And I really, that's me. I don't really think or decide things too quickly, which was why I was terrible at sports growing up. Because, there's a ball, I should probably catch it. I'm going to put up my hand now, and the ball's back there. That's what it's like to be in my head. I'm just, it's slow and deliberate. And so something that was slow and deliberate and not too quick, it was my style. So I could get through it when I was young, and not get bored of it because it said you just got to sit there and be there.
I have a viewer named Levi Wallace. He's also a creator, and he I was on a live stream and I brought up the Ents is where I quit, and Levi said the problem with the Ents is that he wrote it way too fast. He should have slowed down and taken his time.
Pretty funny.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Slow your roll down.
Slow down now. All right. Well, there's your top 10 series or books or whatever. Yeah. Thanks for sharing those with us.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a really fun list. Let's jump a little bit into your own writing. I have stuff I want to talk about your writing. I don't know if we should. Yeah, let's start there. Let me introduce a little bit of what I know, and I've of course been reading your writing for years. I remember Time Beasts that jumped through different dimensions to hunt people.
That was one of my first things I ever written, and you helped me figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, we've been writing partners as much as we've been musical partners for a long time. But the novel that I would talk about if I were to introduce you to another person is, of course, My 3-Year-Old is a Barbarian. Is that the right title?
My 3-Year-Old is a Barbarian and Other Parenting Problems.
There it is.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, My 3-Year-Old is a Barbarian and Other Parenting Problems, which I have been listening to on Audible and really, really enjoying, just because of this premise, which I find so incredible. And I don't know, I mean, I'm sure you're going to tell us a little bit about it, but the quick synopsis is a woman and her son are and other people are Jumanji travel to a D&D medieval world, and her son, the 3-year-old, embodies or his body zapped into the body of a barbarian, like Conan, like over 6 feet tall, massive muscles, battle axe.
Yeah.
And the mother is in the body of a halfling.
Yes.
And so far, I'm not all the way through it, but the parts I've listened to so far are absolutely hilarious, of him throwing tantrums with this battle axe and her trying to keep him under control. How did you come up with this?
So being a parent, actually, so that, so when kids are really real young, they have no life preservation instincts,
Right.
Like they just, your whole job is to keep them alive. Like, that's your job as a parent, and usually it's actually pretty easy for parents to keep kids alive,
Right.
because you see them about to run into traffic and you just pick them up because
Right.
they're that small.
Right.
You're just able to keep them safe because you have the size advantage over them. And I was
Right.
like, well, what if that size advantage didn't exist?
Right.
And the kid's mind was in Conan the Barbarian, essentially,
Right.
and the mother was in a halfling,
Right.
and
Right, comes up to his knee or whatever.
right, and can't control him at all,
Right.
and so you still have the child mentality, but you also have the stakes of the fantasy world where they're
There's an evil necromancer and
an evil necromancer, which was that was actually a separate premise, the necromancer character.
Oh.
Because I from Lord of the Rings, obviously one of my favorite books of all time, I always thought it was funny that Sauron was just waiting in his tower for a long time to come back. Like,
Right.
like what is Sauron doing all those years in the tower, sitting,
How's he
waiting
passing
for
his time?
his rise to top? Yeah, exactly. And so the necromancer is my Sauron character, but I thought it'd be really great if he's in there with his mother, who's like commenting on how he should rule the world. Critiquing, yes. Yes, so his mom is there giving him pointers on how to torture people and rule
Right.
the world, and if she weren't, how she would do it,
Right.
and she's like a good, farmer, salt of the earth, my ox dies, I'll go out and plow the field myself. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like that's the mother's character.
That's
and so
awesome.
the necromancer is, the Sauron waiting for their rise to power again, but with their mother all this time. And so, there's a lot of different kind of fantasy tropes that I'm, making fun of, that I'm doing sort of a comic spin on it.
Yeah. No, it's very funny. I've laughed out loud a lot of times. You got a heck of a narrator for this. What was her name?
Rebecca Woods.
Rebecca Woods.
She is so, she is so talented. I could not think
killing
of
it.
anyone more perfect to do it.
Yeah.
When I got picked up by the company to do the audiobook versions, they auditioned narrators, and they sent me 3 to choose from. And when I heard Rebecca Woods' audition, I was just like, I was floored with how she not only got all the characters instantly, but she got the comic timing, and because I have a whole mess of characters in these series. Like, this is a kind of full
and
of
they're
characters.
sharing bodies, so there's
right. She's able to keep clear distinctions in their voice.
Right.
Like, she had a different voice for every character, and I have scenes where, like,
is it Adrian or Aiden or
Aiden?
Aiden is every time she reads him, I'm like, oh, that's Aiden. I got it. I mean, really, truly, all of them. You're right. She really picked a voice for every character. Mm-hmm. It's really incredible.
Yeah, no, she's so incredible. And she just does that for the other books in the series. I think actually the better way to experience this series is through those audiobooks, more so than reading them. Because her performance just added so much of just not only having good comic timing, but also good character voices, and just adding that layer there that if I could say that there's another human that suddenly took a voice from my head and said it out loud, it would be Rebecca Woods.
That's perfect.
I started when I was writing the 3rd and 4th book of the series. I started hearing the voices she was using in my head when I was writing the characers.
So did you start writing lines with her in mind?
Right.
Yes,
I did. I started
awesome.
writing it with her in mind, and so the 4th book is going to be called. This is the first time I'm announcing it. So
big announcement.
Big
on Liminal Spaces.
Yeah, right. It's the Golden Assault Rifle and Other Weapons of Mass Destruction, and it's going to have a picture of like a Conan the Barbarian type with a golden assault rifle, and
nice.
It's sort of going to be about America's obsession with firearms. You know, like how they're sort of. Like America's very like we love our firearms.
Yeah.
And we put them on this pedestal of
right.
you know, like and that's the whole premise of the book. But the reason I went with the character I did, that's going to be the person questing for the Golden Assault Rifle, was because of her reading of that character. It's a very minor character in My 3-Year-Old's a Barbarian that then became a more increasingly important character to the series.
Because she made you kind of fall in love with your own character?
Right. She made me look at this character and go, man, there's way more to explore about him that I am not getting in, you know, and so by the fourth book rolls around, I'm like, I gotta get more of this character in there.
Right,
like, why was he just a throwaway character before? And so, you know, I already had this idea of making, you know, an assault rifle fetish, you know, because... I mean, if you look at the series, there's a lot of kind of satire in there. Like, the second book is called Orcs in Portland and Other Social Justice Issues. Right. And then this one's, you know, the fourth one, the Golden Assault Rifle and Other Weapons of Mass Destruction. And those sort of political... They're not really political commentary. They're just more... political observations. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Kind of satire on...
It's kind of satire observing, you know, just how people act. It's funny because these books don't really have a message that I'm trying to convey in them. They're more, I'm trying to entertain you, but also hold up a mirror to the reality that we're living in.
Sure,
And so... I you know, they're it's a fun series.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it, and I don't usually head towards comedic science fiction. I love weird, serious mind benders, but this one has been, and I want to kind of echo what you said and say that it is really fun to have somebody read it to me. It's so fun, man. It really works well. If you guys have Audible, My 3-Year-Old is a Barbarian and Other Parenting Problems.
Yeah,
it's on Audible.
It's on Audible. Well, it's also on Spotify and a bunch of other, and your local library if they have an audio app. Yeah, they just expanded their catalog and that happened like a week ago or something to recording this. So
congratulations on all this.
Now,
this has been incredible. It really has.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I love having your work on Audible and Spotify. That's really fun. So, is this your favorite series of your books? What's your favorite of the work you've done?
So, I love this series, and I'm going to see it through to the end for everyone who's already invested in it. But I think my favorite series is the new one that I'm publishing. The first book came out just this year. It's called Office Maxi. Office Maxi, and it's a lit RPG series, which for those of you unfamiliar with the genre, lit RPG is you have to have some sort of game mechanics as a role-playing game inside the book that functions as the way the character progresses in power and levels and strength and all that kind of stuff. So, so if you think of it as, you know, in sort of a classic series, the main character will go off and learn from the wise mentor and become more powerful, and then, you know, they go through trials and tribulations until they reach their, you know, ready to fight Darth Vader or the Emperor Palpatine or whatever. You know, they go through that hero's journey. Yeah, it's the same sort of hero's journey type of narrative, but it is. There's a game system,
so it's like self-aware that it is. I'm thinking of the anime that's so popular right now. All the animes that like my kid loves are all like a person dies and wakes up in a new world.
Yeah, Isekai has. Isekai has a very. It's very rooted in Isekai lit RPG. So they wake up in a world where there's like a game mechanic that's helping them,
and usually only power. The protagonist is familiar with that, right?
Yeah.
So the people around don't know that they are controlled by a game mechanic, but the protagonist does.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And in Office Maxi is a little different in the sense that it is isekai in its. There is a fantasy element and going to other world element, but it happens within our world, and the game mechanics is apparent to everyone except for what are people that are not
NPCs.
NPCs.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
okay.
called NPCs, and they're called NPCs.
All
in the
right,
book,
perfect.
actually. Yeah, so I call them NPCs in the book, but so it starts off where Maxie, she's a YouTuber that's not really successful on her channel, and she's running into money problems. Not based on anyone I know. But yeah, so she runs into some money problems, and she goes to the local temp agency, and there's no work for her, and she finds this mysterious flyer that says gamified work, come to the new way to work, and there's a QR code on there and a phone number that you could pull off, and she pulls off the phone number and gets a message that she got negative experience points for not doing the more efficient option of the QR code.
Oh, okay.
And so she's already kind of annoyed by it, but she does the QR code anyway because she needs money, and she gets to this mysterious company where they go take the elevator to the tutorial. And she's like,
oh, wow,
okay.
So it is in our world. It's
It
not,
is in
it's
our
not
world,
like
yeah.
somebody is reincarnated or whatever.
No, it is in our world.
Interesting.
And then, she fights a creature in the tutorial, and it finds out that monsters are real, and the company that she works for is this company that basically fights monsters to protect people in the real world from monsters.
Oh, okay.
And the reason it's sort of secret and everyone else are NPCs and they don't know about the company is because the way that I sort of describe it is that when someone goes through a very traumatic event, if you have someone specialized intervene, you could get them to kind of believe something else happened than what actually happened because how traumatized they were. So they would rather, instead of believe they got attacked by this creature,
right,
they're going to believe that there was a fire or that they, fell or that, it was a escaped animal from the zoo or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so they have sort of a specialized cleanup team, and that's janitorial in the series.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that you kept it in the real world. That's really unique. I like that.
Yeah, no, I like that too. I had to think of like how this exists in our world, but not a lot of people know about it.
Right.
And then I made that there's other branches, like there's the hacker branch that clean up internet footage of these monster attacks.
Oh, okay.
Delete photos from people's cell phones, and then anyone that they can't sort of convince that nothing happened, they then recruit and say, you should be part of the company. You're too dedicated to the truth, so we want you on our team.
Oh, wow.
And so some people who just, no, that was clearly a monster that attacked me.
Yeah.
Those are the people that can handle the alternate reality. And so they recruit to be the company. But then the company has a little bit of sinister elements to it in the sense that the lowest players get, like the people who don't perform get killed.
Oh, okay.
So it has a little bit of a Squid Game feel to it.
Oh,
where
okay.
if you're not successful, you'll die. If you quit, you die.
Oh, okay. Definitely got some stakes.
Right. Definitely some stakes.
Yeah.
There's a raid that happens in the company where all the employees have to participate, and the first raid villain is a antitrust lawyer trying to break up the company, but he's, as I describe, three basketball players standing on each other's shoulder, tall, Jabba the Hutt looking guy.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And he shoots out noxious gas and razor sharp subpoenas, and, and the subpoenas decapitate people. And so, anyways, there's a creature within the series called the Grutomatons, and those are printers and other electronics that get infected with a zombie virus, basically, like a rage virus, and they sort of turn into were creatures. So it's sort of a werewolf printer, if you can imagine that.
Yeah.
With crab legs.
So is this already released?
Yeah. Office Maxi's already released.
Okay.
And book 2 is done and coming out on the 1st of 2026, and I think I'm just going to do one book every year on the 1st of each year. So
yeah, like your New Year's book.
My New Year's book.
That's fun.
Yeah, no, and
So where do people go to get it? Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon.
Okay. I'll put a link in the description to the Amazon.
Anywhere. There's I could give you the link that has all the links.
Perfect.
Barnes & Noble, Amazon.
I'll give me the link that has all the links. I'll put it in there.
Yeah.
If you're interested in My 3-Year-Old is a Barbarian and Other Parenting Problems, son of a bitch. My viewers are used to this. Okay. If you're interested in My 3-Year-Old is a Barbarian and Other Parenting Problems, go check it out on Audible. I think that's kind of the most enjoyable, or Spotify, place that I've been enjoying it so far is hearing it read by
Rebecca
Woods. And there'll be a link in the description to Aaron's other work, and you can check that out there. All right, the camera is dead. I was hoping to tell some stories. We might charge it up a little bit, and then try to tell some more stories. All right, we charged the camera a little bit,
right.
So we have a little bit of time, and I just really wanted to quickly talk to you, and I wanted to talk to you about the scare game.
Oh yes.
Just because, like, I've talked about it on the channel a little bit, and I think that it was just this weird stroke of genius.
Yes.
And I like having somebody here that was part of that.
Yes.
This is a game that was invented by my brother Jason, and we were bored, we were trying to figure out something to do, and he said, okay, here's the deal. All of us are going to go outside. One person's going to stay in the house, turn off all the lights, hide in the house, and then everybody else has to come through and try to find him, and then he'll jump out and scare them, him or her. So that's what we did, and it sounds stupid, but it's scary.
It is very scary. Some of the most epic scares on there were very terrifying things. Like, one of the ones that I really remember is we were all in a hallway, and I think you were the person doing the scaring.
Okay.
And so I think this was you that was the orchestrator of it.
Yeah.
And it's pitch black, so you can't see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah. Especially if a hallway in kind of in the center of the house, no windows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone has their hand on the person in front of them back, because we're trying to go all through this hallway together. And in this hallway, we hear this low, deep growl, like of a creature that's about to eviscerate us, and, like, tear us apart. And the person who's first in line screams and starts panicking, trying to get away by running back into that people, and we all just fall over on top of each other. We're all screaming at this point.
Yeah.
And then finally, because of the falling over, we turn the lights on and stop the game because we're worried that somebody got hurt and all this kind of stuff. And it's revealed that growl was you had put a cell phone on top of the dryer.
I put a pager. This tells you how...
Pager, okay. Oh my god.
Yeah, how old this was. I put my pager on top of the dryer, and they were going down the hallway that led to the laundry room, and I was upstairs. I was upstairs just paging myself with the phone, probably a landline.
Right.
Just paging myself, and it would go, and on that dryer. And this is the craziness of the scare game. It is so ridiculous because you don't just hide and jump out and scare people. Like even the first night that we did it, we all started by hiding and jumping out and scaring. But then my sister-in-law started setting up mannequins in the front room, and then it just expanded.
You create the atmosphere. Like, there was one where I think you had the video to the Ring movie. The video of the Ring movie just came on the TV when we walked in the room.
Yeah.
Or there was another one where I think your brother, I think Jason, had a mop and a broom handle, and he created this, and this is in the dark, so you can't really see what
anything.
It is. Yeah. So you can't see this, a mop and a broom handle. In the dark, it looks like this floating head with this really stringy, creepy hair.
Wasn't he throwing it up to the balcony?
In the balcony.
Yes.
And so it was popping up over where there was nothing could climb up there unless it was floating. You know what I mean? And
we're all screaming.
We're all screaming. And so it worked really well because it was really like your imagination was doing the heavy lifting for you.
It's incredible. You have to let yourself want to be scared.
Yeah.
But Jason had this big box of Legos. And there was a staircase in his house, and it went one direction and then did a right angle. And we got to the kind of balcony on the first part, and he just pushed that box of Legos down the stairs. So you're standing here in pitch darkness, slowly, getting yourself, and suddenly you hear this like coming down the stairs at you. It was so terrifying. And yeah, people just got more and more creative and more wild. My brother had a staircase, and they realized that there was space. There was a little closet there, and he realized that there was space being unused under the stairs. That if he broke this wall, there would be a more of a closet back there. So he was planning on doing this anyway. But seriously, we all went outside to wait for my brother to go, and while we were waiting out there, he got a sledgehammer, busted out that wall, and climbed back.
I totally forgot about that.
Yes,
and
climbed back. So suddenly,
I remember.
Yeah, suddenly we're crawling into the closet, and the wall's gone. Like, he waited for scare game, because that's epic. I mean, you don't understand. Like, and you get psychological with it. Like, I did one where all I did is hide, but before I hid and everybody came in, I just opened the front door. So that when everybody came into the front room, the door was open. And instantly people were like, God, did somebody come in? Like,
is there another person?
Yeah.
We were worried.
Is there a home invasion?
That there was a home invasion going on, and that this was not part of the scare.
Yeah.
We were, yeah.
Yeah, you just got to...
Oh, my God.
It got psychological. It got crazy. And one of my most memorable for me is we went to your parents' house.
And my parents were out of town.
Yeah.
So
I'd never been to your parents' house.
Yeah.
I've been to your house, but I don't think I'd met your parents at this point.
Right.
And Bo and I drove up, and you and everybody else was already playing. So Bo and I got out of the car and walked into your house and found the crowd, but all the lights were off and it was dark. And it was so surreal,
because you didn't know the interior of the house.
I had no idea
what noises, what things would make noises.
No.
Potentially, and
we went upstairs and into your sister's room, and I think you were hiding.
Yeah,
you were the one hiding.
Yeah,
and your sister's room is just a square, but there was like a window seat.
Yes,
and the window seat created in the darkness with a little bit of light a optical illusion that Bo and I both saw that made the room look like it went on forever.
Oh, wow.
It was insane, because the window seat looked like it was the distance. And then eventually we went down into your basement, and there was this weird door under the stairs, and I had to crawl under there, and I hadn't seen any of it. It was so wild. It was really, really wild. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. I think you could make a YouTube channel out of this.
I think you can, actually, like doing a
TV
game,
show, or
show.
something where you had like cameras that could see all around,
right?
And then just
have the participants trying to scare each other. Yeah, I mean, there was very briefly one of the kids from Stranger Things had a prank show that he did.
Okay.
Where it was horror themed, and so they would do some pretty elaborate, it was almost like Scare Game, but
interesting.
But the participants weren't like in Scare Game. We were all willing and wanting to.
Yeah,
be scared.
that's the only way you could be on the show.
Yeah,
if I did it. Yeah,
yeah, they were not willing, so he got into some trouble for not
because
having willing participants, and they did some really terrifying stuff where a creature was literally punched in the window of a car and pulled someone out, biting the person's neck.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So they had some real
it's
Hollywood effect type of scares where they were using the full power of Hollywood to make it. So it was
that'd be
genuinely terrifying for people in the situation that weren't part of the scare.
No, there was. Once there was a kid that was, I think it was my cousin's boyfriend was going through the house, And I just stood in the garage and opened the garage door.
Yeah.
So it was pitch dark, and suddenly the lights come on, and the garage door starts making its sound. And this kid probably jumped 4 feet up straight in the air, but the light and the sound of the door confused him. So one half of his body was going this way, and the other half was trying to go this way, and he was in midair. Like, I could see his feet running because suddenly the light was on. It's amazing how much this can actually scare you. It's ridiculous.
It is, yeah, when you're in the mood. I mean, my favorite all time was when you were house sitting.
No, it was my sister-in-law.
Or your sister-in-law's house sitting a professor, a college professor's house.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. It was after we had done my parents' house, and so we were going to do it in a house that no one knew anything about, you know?
Yeah.
And so we were doing the scare game, and so they had this basement in the house that was pretty good for scares because it had the ability to walk all the way around it through these hallways and never have to backtrack.
Yeah, it was a big house.
It was a big house, so you could just keep going, running circles through these hallways. And there was this point where there was a bunch of boxes all stacked at the end of this one hallway.
It was laundry.
It was laundry.
Yeah, that was the laundry room, and there was a door behind this huge stack of laundry.
Right. You couldn't see the door there, but we found it in the scare game, and when we opened the door to that room in the basement, it was a pristine room.
Rocking chair.
Yeah. And it was
really strange
and scary by itself,
and
even without the game element.
And we didn't mean to like if we were not told anything's off limits, because sometimes when you're in a house, it's like, okay, don't go into that room. Everything in there will break. But in this case, we found it in the scare game, and it scared the crap out of us. And then when we all were done and laughing, and oh my God, that was scary, the person that was house sitting was like, they didn't show me this room on the door. like
we thought it was part of the scare game.
Yeah.
You sometimes do that where you'll pile laundry to make the participants find something that was hidden before. Yeah. You know what I mean? You sometimes manipulate the house to have hidden rooms or something. So we thought it was just a part of the game, but it was really
a secret room.
Secret room.
A real secret room. It was really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I have very fond memories of the scare game.
Yeah, same here.
I want to somehow, I would love to find a way to turn it into a video. It'd be so funny. But anyway, if you want to try something weird, everybody go outside, send one people in, turn off all the lights, and go try to find that person.
Yes. You don't think, on the outside you think, oh, this can't be scary, but in the right mood, it is.
Yep.
It is terrifying.
Yeah, and people got super... our buddy Ryan had a keyboard that would make sound effects, and one of the sound effects was a scream, and he brought his amplifier over. I don't know if you were here for that one.
I don't know if I was from that one.
And cranked it up to like 11, and just hit this scream. And the scream... I think that's the most frightened I've ever been in the scare game, because it was so loud... But it sounded... I mean, it was in the house, of course. It didn't sound fake. Like it sounded like a person being eviscerated in the room. Like, we all just covered our ears and couldn't move forward because it was so scary. And every time we'd try to move, the scream would happen again. And it's so funny because... Like that was the epitome of terror that I've ever felt in the scare game. And Ryan was like, why aren't these guys coming? And he kept hitting the scream, and we weren't moving an inch. We were too scared. And so finally he just jumped around the corner and went, wah! And we were all like, thank God! Because
it's over.
Because it was just so hard to go through all the screaming. Yeah.
One thing that I found funny as a participant and player in scare game, you would start going about your life thinking about this would be a good scare. Like, you'd be at a thrift store or something, and you would like buy something for the fact that it's going to be really good in the scare game.
We'd start bringing props. Right. I brought a leaf blower, and it was the same hallway as the thing. I jumped out of the bathroom and just turned that leaf blower on, and everybody was like being blown, and it was so loud, and yeah, every aspect of your life, just in the back of your head, you're like, scare game.
Scare game.
Scare game.
Right. Just planning the next scare game.
Oh my god. So much fun. So much fun. All right, well, thanks for being on the show, Aaron.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
it was
this
a lot
is
of
fun. Now we're going to go and enjoy your vacation here.
Yes.
All
enjoy
right.
being in my hometown.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, I'm sure you'll be on the channel again.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy to come back anytime. So.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody.